18 says, modern science is built on the process of posing hypotheses and testing them against observations, in essence, attempting to show that the hypotheses are incorrect. That is how science works. We make hypotheses, then we try to disprove them. If we can't disprove them, then we continue to believe them. Nothing brings more recognition than overthrowing conventional wisdom. Okay? If you say so. It is accordingly unsurprising that some scientists are skeptical of the widely accepted predictions of global warming. And I can follow their logic there. Science is built on trying to disprove hypotheses. If nothing brings more recognition than overthrowing conventional wisdom, and if global warming is widely accepted, then it wouldn't be surprising that some scientists are skeptical of global warming. All right, that makes sense. I follow that. What is instead remarkable is that with hundreds of researchers striving to make breakthroughs in climatology, very few find evidence that global warming is unlikely. I wouldn't say that's, I don't know, remarkable? Is it really remarkable? I mean, that just makes it sound, if all that is true, it to me just seems like, oh, well, probably global warming is probably right. A scientist would never say for sure right. A scientist would say we will always continue to try to disprove this forever. But if there's a big incentive for people to disprove this, and there's people all around the globe trying to disprove it, but they haven't really been able to find much to disprove it, then maybe it's actually true. And so I would take all of this to say, oh, well, maybe it's true. Maybe it's probably true. I don't know. The information above provides the most support for which one of the following statements. This is another must be true question. I guess you could call it a soft must be true if you wanted, because it says the most support for which one of the following. But I think the analysis is a lot easier if I just call this a must be true question and look for the one that has to be true, can't possibly be false, based solely on the facts that were given. A, and so, you know, this must be true question. So I'm looking for something boring, obvious, conservatively stated, says maybe in it 10 times. That would be a great answer here. A, most scientists who are reluctant to accept the global warming hypothesis are not acting in accordance with the accepted standards of scientific debate. What are you talking about? The accepted standards of scientific debate was not mentioned in the argument at all. I don't see how the argument provides support for anything about scientific debate. B, most researchers in climatology have substantial motive to find evidence that would discredit the global warming hypothesis. Doesn't that have to be true? They said nothing brings more recognition than overthrowing conventional wisdom. Therefore, most researchers in climatology have substantial motive to find evidence that would discredit the global warming hypothesis, which is conventional wisdom, or which is widely accepted. I just think B, it's almost like B is just repeating exactly what they already said. So I'm loving B. C says, there is evidence that conclusively shows that the global warming hypothesis is true. Classic wrong answer on a must be true question. It goes further than what the evidence actually says. Furthermore, it's a bit of a trap for like young idealists. You know, they want to know if you can put aside your political beliefs for a second and deal with like facts on the page. And so regardless of whether you think C is true in real life, C is not justified by the facts they gave you. So C can't be the answer for this must be true question. D, scientists who are skeptical about global warming have not offered any alternative hypotheses to explain climatological data. We don't know that. Didn't say anything about whether there were alternative competing hypotheses. E says research in global warming is primarily driven by a desire for recognition in the scientific community. I hate one word in E. Want to tell me what that is? Primarily. Why do I hate that here?
It doesn't say anywhere that's primarily driven by that.
Yeah, it just doesn't say that. And primarily means like the main first reason or whatever. And I mean, maybe it is a reason. You know, desire for recognition in the scientific community might be a reason why, but don't scientists make salaries? Don't scientists want to go into the office to get away from their husband? Don't scientists want to make their kids proud of them? You know, like there could be a million other reasons, and any one of those reasons could be the primary reason. So I can't pick an answer that says primarily driven on a must be true question unless it actually said this is the primary reason why. I think it's kind of an important teaching point there. I would guess that a lot of people would be tempted by E here. It just didn't say that it's primarily driven by this. And if it doesn't say primarily driven, it's, you know, it is the only reason that was mentioned in the argument. It was the only reason that they talked about. But just because it's the only reason they talked about it, the only reason they were talking about doesn't mean that it's the only reason. Yeah? Okay? All right, I think that's actually a pretty important point about must be true questions.